if you want something that you've never had, then you got to do something that you've never done. See, that's telling you to get out of your comfort zone, to kind of step out of the box a little bit. Motivational quote by Anonymous. If you want something you've never had, then you've got to do something you've never done. If you want something you've never had, then you've got to do something you've never done. To do something you're not comfortable with, right? Something that a lot of us, we ain't about. We ain't about getting out of the comfort zone, going and doing something new, trying new things, opening our mind and heart to new things. We're so accustomed to just what we're used to, what we're comfortable with. We don't want to step out of our comfort zone. And that's what it's saying. It's like, man, you want something that you never had, then you got to do something that you've never done, right? Because so many times we're like, man, I don't know what to do now, right? I want you dream of certain things, but you're not doing the work that you need to do to get there, to achieve it, to have what you want, right? Like it says, you want something that you never had, but you gotta do things that you've never done. If you never get out of your comfort zone, you never step out of the box, you never do something that you never thought you would do, you're missing out on a lot of opportunity. There's a lot of opportunity out there. But the thing is, if you do not go out there and do it, if you do not do something new, if you are not putting yourself in position to acquire something new, then you are still going to be stagnant. You're still going to be where you're at. You are never going to acquire or experience anything new, because you're in the mindset, in the box still of, I'm not going to ever change. I'm not ever going to get out of my comfort zone and experience something new in order to get that thing that you want that you never had before. It's relating to the Bible verse. Gotta be brave and courageous. Knowing what's right doesn't mean anything unless you do what's right. Goes hand in hand. You can know what the right thing is. You can know what something is good. But if you are not doing the right thing, if you... Theodore Roosevelt, knowing what's right doesn't mean much unless you do what's right. Knowing what's right doesn't mean much unless you do what's right. Not doing good things, then knowing it doesn't mean nothing if you're not applying it, right? You can know it, but if you are not applying it in your life, then there's no value in it. You're not adding value or showing value in that thought, because it's just a thought. It's just going to stay there. We talked about this with the thought process before, right? Knowing what's right, it's cool. I'm glad that you know. But it doesn't mean anything if you do not do what's right. See, and that's the hard part. We can know what's right. We can know what's good. We can know the good things. But if we don't do it, if we don't act on it, we don't put action to it, then it means nothing. There's no value there. It's just a thought, right? Everyone has a thought. Everyone thinks. Everyone has ideas. They have thoughts that run through their head, and some of those thoughts are good. But if you don't put no action to some of those, don't put action to the good thoughts, then they're just thoughts and they're just going to stay there. They mean nothing. But you want to do something with it, right? You want to act on those good things, right? You want to do what's right. It's cool to know what's right, but to do it, that's what means so much more, because those actions will lead to those around you. Those actions will spread to those around you. Those actions will reach to those around you, and it will be a domino effect. Your good deeds, your right decisions will lead to other people making good and right decisions, where it will benefit other people, and it will just continue as a cycle, which is something that's good, something that we should be doing all the time. Always turn a negative situation into a positive situation. See, and this is the one thing that a lot of people, they can't wrap their head around, right? They can't process that, to turn a negative situation and turn it into something positive. Michael Jordan always turned a negative situation into a positive situation. Always turn a negative situation into a positive situation. To turn a negative situation into a positive situation. A lot of us, we just ain't, we don't want to hear it, right? We don't want to hear it. Our negative thoughts have crippled us and taken over, where there's no chance of us trying to turn that negative thing into a positive thing, right? See, for me, when I pray, I start off with being grateful. That's turning, if I'm going through something negative, I'm gonna find something grateful for it, and I'm gonna thank God for it, right? So that's right there is a start of it. It's kind of like, man, something bad may be happening, but if you can find something to be grateful for in that in the negative situation, then you are taking that negative situation and pointing it in a positive light. You are finding something positive in it for a positive outlook, for a better outlook, for a good outlook, right? So that's the main thing. A lot of us, we see it and we're like, man, this is gonna destroy my whole day. Nothing's gonna be good. I'm done for. Okay. You can have that mindset, or you could take the negative thing and be like, know what? Things are gonna be good. I promise you, things are going to be good. And then you're like, okay, cool. Let's go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead and do something amazing. Let's go ahead and take something negative and we do something positive with it. We find something positive in it. Why? Because you know what? Not everything in life is going to be negative. You can find something positive in anything. You just got to search for it. You just got to be open-minded and open-hearted to it. You don't have to be great to start things, but you do have to start things so you can be great. See, a lot of us think that we have to start off where everything is perfect, everything is good. We're already going to start off as the best. Nobody starts off. Zig Ziglar, you don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. You don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. As the best. Everyone starts off somewhere and they work their way to the best. But the thing is, what the difference between them and you is, you were trying to be great so you could start, but they started and now they became great. See, that's the big part about it, is you got to start and then you be great. You got to put in the work after you start, but the beginning of it, the important part of it, is starting, right? You could have the idea, you could talk about it, you could dream of it, but if you don't start the process of doing that, getting there, then you are not trying to be great. You are procrastinating or putting it off until you think the time is right, until you think you are great, and then you think you can do it. But see, that's not the thing. You need to wait until there's no waiting. Honestly, there's no waiting. You just start and then you work your way until you become great. But you gotta start. You can't just start off as great. You gotta start and then you become great. And maybe you got some talent, so you start off and you're doing good, but you still gotta start. And then you work your way to greatness. You ain't gonna start in greatness. You ain't gonna start there. You gotta put in the work. You just gotta start and start doing it, and you will get to where you want to be. You will get to the pinnacle. You will get to the success. You will get to the point where you dream yourself being at. But you got to start in order to get there. Everything has a starting point. You gotta start that starting point. You gotta put action to that starting point. Tell me and I may forget. Teach me and I may remember. But involve me and I will learn. Right? This is for those people that are hands-on, right? They can't just be told what to do, or even Benjamin Franklin. Tell me and I forget. Teach me and I may remember. Involve me and I learn. Tell me and I forget. Teach me and I may remember. Involve me and I learn. Shown, they got to be involved in it, right? They got to be hands-on, and then they learn. I think I'm the same way. I don't know, haven't really done anything, but it's the important part, right? Because like, you could tell someone, they'll forget. You could teach them, they may remember. But once you involve them, once you have them hands-on, once you are there with them and they're doing what they're trying to learn, what they're trying to acquire, then they will learn, right, at that point. But it's about the hands-on thing. It's not about just trying to tell them. It's not just trying to teach them. It's, you got to involve them. That's the important part, right? You could, telling them is the first step, teaching them is the second step, but that third part though, involving them, is the important part. That's what ties everything together and makes it work. It's the glue that really just keeps it all together, and it finishes, right? That's the finished piece of work right there, is being able to get them involved to the point where now they're able to go and tell somebody. Now they're able to go teach somebody. Now they're able to be in that same position where they can now involve them in it, involve someone else in it, and that cycle will now repeat, because now people are actually getting the skill, they're able to do it. Now they could go tell somebody, now they could go teach somebody, now they could go involve somebody. See, like I said, involving them is the last step, and it's the step that it's the glue that holds everything together. That's the thing that ties everything together. That's the important part. Those other ones you definitely need to do before you get to that one, because you can involve them, but if you ain't tell them about it or teach them about it, then they're just kind of there. That's how you gotta tell them, and then you teach them, and then you involve them, and then it all kind of comes together, and that's the important part. So hopefully this podcast motivated you in some type of way. Hopefully you kind of learned some new skills in the process. Hopefully you will go on to your day and you will do some amazing things. So without further ado, I'm gonna have to bid y'all adieu, and if you ain't subscribed yet, I would appreciate it if you would subscribe too. And until next time, salute.